count myself in, I guess. 'Cause I'm doing this podcast by myself. All by myself.
Don't wanna be.
Alright, I'm gonna do it. And a 3, a 2, a 1. You talking to me? Because I'm talking to you. This is talking to me, talking to you. And I got Ricky Bauman in the house.
In the house. Well, how is it going, everybody? How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's having a wonderful, beautiful Sunday here.
I'm so excited to have you here, man. You have no idea.
For sure, dude. I know that me and you have been talking about doing this for forever, you know?
Yeah, you're one of the first people that like knew about the idea of the podcast, and we thought about it, what was it, about 2 months ago?
Yeah, about 2 months ago. And you know, me and you have always talked about I always claim we're the dynamic duo.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that we've been in a few short films together, and we have, like, you're my best friend, you know, and it's like, you know, it just feels right. But yeah, it was definitely an idea. So, you know, the podcast was definitely a good idea.
Yeah, no, I do think it's a good idea. You know, it just kind of brings, you know, all these creatives and friends.
Yeah,
and
for sure, man.
Anybody. If you want to come on the show, you can come on the show.
It's easy. It's very easy.
Just call me. Or text me.
It's gonna cost you like $500, but I mean, it's easy after that.
But you know, you're here.
No, yeah, I'm here.
We just witnessed craziness last night, but let's not talk about that. Lord. But let's not talk about that too much.
Well, we can maybe talk about it a little bit later.
We'll talk a little bit later. But so first off, man, you are, to me, one of our main like actors that we use.
I mean, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's
so like you're one of our go-tos, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, and that comes from a really passionate drive you had, and when you first like wanted to get involved, like that's what really like kind of struck me. Like,
you mean like me showing up at your work 7 days a week?
No, it wasn't. So, that's a little exaggerated, but that's fine. That was close to that though. It was like 2 or 3. You know, we didn't show up and talk to me about doing it. You know,
but I kept calling you and bothering you. And
being
more involved, because you know something that happens to adults constantly is even when they don't mean to, or there's no negative like connotation to it. It's like, you know, some people just kind of separate sometimes.
Yeah,
you know, and it's fine. It doesn't mean you hate them.
Yeah, because I've known you for like 10 years now.
10, like more. I'd say, maybe a little longer than that, man.
Well, yeah. I mean, we was
super young.
We was at one point cousins, but still are cousins.
Technically cousins.
Yeah, but it's you know, but I've known you for a long time. We never really.
For sure.
You know, we used to do like music and stuff together, but we never like collaborated on like a real art form before, and doing films and stuff with you and having you act and like, because that's the main thing that you contribute into what we do. You are like, you know, you try really hard to act, and you've always kind of did that. Like, I remember you used to do like voices, you used to like, you know,
my
do
voice
imitations, yeah, all that kind of stuff.
For sure.
And so like you had like a kind of like a weird way of like wanting to act already just in your personality. So
yeah,
you're pretty good at it, is what I'm saying. Like, you know, it's just part of your it's just part of you.
I'm okay in my eyes. I'm okay.
But I got a couple films up. I think I got like 4, because I really want to talk to you about all this, because at the end of this podcast we're going to talk about something coming very soon.
Very soon.
We got planned out for you, and we're going to talk about it.
Now, what he's referring to is the very first film that me and him ever participated in. And at this point in time...
He's seen my screen. I didn't want him to see it.
Well, at this point in time, because it's a cringy moment for me. It's like when you record your first YouTube video and somebody sees you and you're just like, wow, that was really not as good as I thought it was. But everybody else is like, oh, it's fine. But in my brain, it's like, you know... Oh.
So this is along the lines.
Hey, can we pause just really quickly?
Sure.
Real quick.
We're just gonna talk. We're gonna talk through it.
Yeah. Okay.
We're gonna conversate. Yeah. You're fine.
The start to this.
Go. Hey, what the fuck are you talking
about?
Oh
my god.
What we 10th grade or something? Like, seriously? That's the best. So this is one of the first ones that we wrote. Like, we actually wrote down like a script, because we would just improv.
Most of it.
I think up until this one, which was like into this like second half of what we were doing.
Well, when we did the dialogue, I've known Owen for a little while at this point.
Yeah.
And me and you have been cousins for a number of years at this point. And I would definitely say it was like my first time meeting Caden Lucas.
Oh yeah, which Caden's not here.
He's not here right now. You know, he's got.
We're gonna get him a mic. We're gonna get him a mic.
He's got responsibilities, and Caden Lucas, one of my best friends in the whole wide world.
That's all we ever fucking do is party. What are you talking about? It's every weekend with this shit. Like, I'm just saying we just
This was kind of rushed in the situation.
Yeah.
It was very rushed.
Well, it was still like getting our, you know,
we were kind of getting our bearings.
Getting our fingers at tips in, you know. I don't claim to be, you know, like some
professional
wizard director, not like that.
Yeah,
we're just
sure.
we're some people having fun being creative.
Okay, now in this scene that we're watching currently, the biggest thing that everybody says when Will's pulling up, they always say, "What is he doing? Doesn't look very good."
Oh yeah,
yeah. Because they always say it looks like a sexual gesture. See, look,
looks with my mouth wide open like that.
My first time, my face being on screen.
This was so good though. You can't really hear it at the end, but me and you,
we had a magical moment.
Like I said, this was mostly improv at the time. We had a couple things written, but we just kind of.
So we went outside. We start arguing. We get out of the car. We're both hyped up. We start going at each other. We start saying random things. We don't know what we're going to say to each other.
Going.
And then we both just blurt out right at the end, "It's you. It's always you." At the same exact time.
Yeah, so.
And
oh, God.
And it was one of those moments we just looked at each other like shocked. And I remember the shot, like watching the unedited footage and seeing that shot of just me and you just like, did we really just do that?
So another thing I want to talk about is that like the reason that us saying that was so like cool and impactful is because we talked about what the meaning of the whole thing was before, because we used to do it. We used to base it really off of like just really metaphorical stuff, you know, like it was about having two, like an angel and a demon on your shoulder. Like one guy's like telling you like, "Hey man, you know, let's just chill."
It's basically like good versus evil.
Yeah,
it's like the classic tale of good versus evil.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, known thing that kind of continues on is I always end up either being like the bad guy.
Yeah.
Or I always end up being the villain. I'm like, I think of Tommy Wiseau in my head, like, I'm not Frankenstein. Who's Frankenstein?
Who's Frankenstein?
They said, no, you're not a good actor. I can see you a villain like Dracula, Frankenstein. He's like, Frankenstein. Who's Frankenstein?
And that was one. So that when you hit me up and was coming around more often, that was one of the first things that you like showed me. Like, you got to watch this film. Which, by the way, I don't have an opinion about The Room anymore.
Okay, no, I just want to say The Room is a cinematic masterpiece because it was shot in two different styles of filming. So there's digital and then there's film. Now, he filmed half the movie in digital, half the movie in film. And it's crazy because like shots that were written to be 2 minutes long, some like small down to 30-second intervals, and where like he's talking before he's even in the frame.
All I gotta say is they used the same sex scene twice, back to back. That was ridiculous.
And literally all they did was just different camera angles. It was
the same scene.
Oh yeah, there are some same music and everything, man.
But
The Room is still arguably, and I will fight to the grave to this, is still my favorite film.
But that's what I like about you, though. Like, you are willing to, like, you have a very, very weird taste in most things.
Of course.
But I like that you stick to your bearings. You know what I mean? You're you, man, and that's what makes you a good actor as well, you know. But on top of that, well, I forgot what I was going to talk about, but we'll get back to it. I got another film to show you.
But
we're going to go in chronological order, too. So
Okay, for sure. Now, a lot of the acting for me started from like when I started driving all day long, for work, and I remember driving, and I would want to practice my acting in my car. So while I'm by myself driving for hours at a time, I would sit there and talk to myself just to kind of like, you know, give myself the motivation to tell me that I can still do it.
Yeah.
Because you like, not a lot of people act, you know, during their everyday lives. Most people are pretty true to themselves. So it's interesting. Now this one is still probably arguably.
This is one of the best ones. We just had Ben on too, so we didn't we didn't watch this one with Ben.
The story behind this one is the first time me and Ben ever met each other. This is what we made. And
oh yeah, this is the first time you guys met. Yeah,
this is the first time we met. So we're two complete strangers, and for us to be able to kind of vibe on this level that we did in this shot is just fantastic. And by the way, a little fun fact: I just injured my hand.
Oh yeah, you messed your hand up.
I got a giant scar on my hand there. Yeah, giant scar on my hand, and I just had surgery on my hand to reconnect the tendons in my index finger. And I remember I still to this day still don't have full feeling in that finger. It's nuts.
A little fun fact to lighten up on it is Ben. He had that suit on, right? Yeah. Except for he's wearing shorts.
He is wearing shorts, and we could only shoot like mostly waist up.
Waist up. Yeah. He came in. He's like, "This is a waist up video, right?"
Also, something that a lot of people would kind of question, and the reason I kind of look drained in this video is me and Will stayed up for about 13, 14 hours straight playing the PlayStation VR.
That was fucking.
And then we filmed this.
Your back was thrown out.
My back was completely thrown out. So I'm trying to smack down on this table.
Good way of exercise.
I was smacking down on the table, and my back was so stiff that it was like,
I'm here because they made me be here.
Yeah, so we start.
Don't think of it like that.
So we're slowly getting closer.
Think of it as an opportunity to
remember that we're slowly getting closer.
To improve your life.
Every shot, to you, and then it starts to.
It's
slowly zoom in.
I miss my piercings as well.
Yeah, you took them all, didn't you?
Yeah, I had to during quarantine. I had to.
Makes sense.
It's kind of driving me nuts.
Everything will just be better, like something out of a fucking Hallmark movie.
That curly ass hair, man.
I think.
What do you think? What do you think that I should do to get better?
Well, I think you've been making a lot of progress.
Progress? I'm at my point of breaking, and you think I'm making progress. You think that me being here is progress. That you asking the same questions is progress. Well,
man, it's such a good. It's like you really did try to find it, man.
Very progressive.
You've been coming to these sessions. You've been taking your medication.
Yeah.
I call that progress.
I've been taking my fucking medication.
Yeah.
Do you feel like taking it is helping?
Don't you have a fucking paper on the wall that says you should know that already?
So
sit there
right here,
with your family.
I couldn't slam harder.
Yes.
My back and my hand.
Yeah.
My hand was still fresh.
He couldn't bend over. Like we asked him, we were like, dude, you need to get. And he could not.
My back was so straight just from standing for hours.
To have the opportunities that you have. I've worked just as hard as you have. And you sit there.
Remember the story I was going to talk about.
Week after week, doing the same things.
Asking
the same
arguably my favorite shot.
You know what? I think this is over.
Which Ben? He
you
can
have a
do
nice
it.
fucking life.
He can cry on command.
And me and Ben actually had this discussion last night that me and him definitely need to collab again, because he said that I'm he said I'm one of his favorite people to watch on here, so that's appreciated.
Fun fact, that was a picture of my mother.
It was. Shout out to Brad and Cammy. It's funny, William.
There's rain in that too.
One of my favorite things to say after the shot is right after the shot happened, I went upstairs and your mom was sitting there, and I looked at a picture of Brad and your mom. Brad had a hat on, and I said, hey, I was like, I didn't know you met Kenny Chesney. And she cracked up, and I was like, it's like the first time I've ever seen your mom laugh like that.
That's hilarious. You know, but so when we were just watching that, you like remembered the lines and stuff, and you probably watched it a few times, obviously, but you're not like the editing table, like watching it a million times over and over.
No, I kind of chose to watch a lot of it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I'm learning from it.
But you have this like visual and photographic memory almost where. So one of the first movies, like I said, you watched The Room with me, and then another movie that we watched very soon into us getting into film and shit together was The Lighthouse with Robert Pattinson.
The Lighthouse, yes.
And Willem Dafoe. So the thing that you did that impressed me, this was before we started doing films together. Like you didn't even do Along the Lines with me yet.
Yeah, this was kind of a little bit before that.
Yeah, and so
shout out to William Dafoe and Robert Pattinson.
They're great, but. My question is, or no, I don't have a question. The story is, we watched this movie, and then you took the scene where Willem Dafoe like gets up and does this huge speech to Robert Pattinson when they're like drunk towards the like middle end of the movie, and you watched that movie like once with me, and within that week, you remembered basically the entire fucking script of that section
for sure,
and that's what honestly impressed me. Just like, oh yeah, dude, he's gonna be.
I appreciate that. And it was the speech. Basically, the context to that scene was they were both drunk, and Robert Pattinson said he didn't
something about steak.
He said he didn't like his cooking.
Yeah,
and so he said you're just talking. He said you're just talking basically.
Yeah.
And Robert Pattinson's like drunk and just saying things, and William Dafoe gets pissed, and then he just stands up and he just screams, "Hawk Trident!"
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then he just damns him for
off.
probably a good 20 to 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And I did memorize the whole entire
pretty
quote.
fast.
Pretty fast.
He was driving when
I was driving when I was listening to it, just to kind of when you're bored on the road. I mean, I'm just saying, if you drive a lot for a living, and people definitely get what I'm saying. When you drive for a living, if you're not like smoking, like nicotine or anything like that, you kind of go a little stir crazy. I'm not gonna lie. People driving, people are idiot drivers up here in Ohio. People are dumb.
Yeah,
like,
for
you
sure.
know, and for sure. So it's when you're bored, man. You can accomplish anything with enough time.
But back to you being the bad guy. That one, you actually weren't that bad of a guy.
I mean, I wasn't the bad guy, but I wasn't the good guy.
Yeah. So this one.
Oh yes.
So we're gonna watch this one.
Now, this one, I still stand by this one. We made this for Funkoween 2020.
Shout out Danny and Karen.
Yep, shout out to them. And this shot right here is one of my favorite shots. I still want it on a t-shirt.
So, Owen Wilson to the left, not the crooked-nosed one, the famous one.
Not the famous
beautiful Owen Wilson.
Our Owen Wilson, Claremont Films' own Owen Wilson.
The beautiful one.
Okay, now fun fact about this.
I just actually, Lucas, which is not here. God damn it.
The day we filmed this, I got my test results back that I had an upper respiratory infection, and it wasn't COVID.
Yeah, that was a crazy week.
So I was isolated for probably 2.5 weeks when this was being filmed. And then the first thing I did was this.
And I like to talk with my hands. May you please remove these restraints.
And I was a little rusty
chance,
at this point in time as well.
Not a chance.
We were coming off of a little time
honor.
period where we're all kind of
Right.
doing our own thing for a minute.
Ooh. Ooh, much better. Now.
Yeah, I got to be careful with that hand. So if you notice, when I rub my hands together, I don't rub where the scar is.
Yeah.
Because it's still very sensitive. Even though
I bet.
it's been like a year and 2 months.
Yeah.
It's still very sensitive.
Yeah.
Let's skip ahead. October 5th, 2005. What happened?
Well, let's see. Well, I woke up that morning.
I kept fucking up this line.
Fall air.
Oh yeah, you did it though.
I did it,
It's
though.
all about repetition. Just keep doing it.
Shout out to Dylan.
Oh yeah, shout out to Dylan. Dude, once again,
Shout out to Dylan.
he's the one, man. The music genius.
So, I've been begging William since we started filming to give me a chance to be the evil protagonist officially.
It's kind of a bad choice for us to choose drowning.
No, it's a sensitive subject. I'm sure it's for some people. Drowning isn't the.
Well, no, I think that just sucked for me to have to do it.
No, for sure. You were definitely. He called me a day or two after we filmed this, and you kept saying like, "Man,
Yeah,
Ricky,
it fucked
I
my breathing up
still
for like a few days, but
I can't breathe still, man." And I was like, "Man, I'm sorry." Basically, what happened, and we'll talk about it when it gets there. I don't want to. This is where it starts to take that dark turn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm reading a Bible.
Is that a Bible? Was that a Bible? No.
No, it was a random book.
It's supposed to look like a Bible. Yeah, because like we were kind of being poking fun at you, like, yeah, you look like a
a Mormon.
Yeah, like a Mormon.
Another one of my very favorite shots with this one, and it's Caden Lucas, not William Hayfley stripping. That's not my favorite shot.
That's beautiful, man.
Look at them legs.
Fucking.
And then right here, this shot. Tell me I don't look like a murderer. Yeah. So, in the shot, I creep into the room.
Just thinking of like.
Okay, William looks at me. William screams. I shove his head underwater. And mid-scream, and it kind of caught him off guard because I pushed his head down with my right hand.
Well, it was just actually just like the multitude of having to do like, you know.
And William kicked the
takes.
camera. So this shot right here, the first time, he kicked the camera. And when he kicked the camera, it fucked up the whole shot. So then we had to do it again. And you were already like severely out of breath and breathing. And I kept pulling you up every so often to be like, hey, dude, are you good?
Yeah, no, I remember. It was.
This part
Don't
completely.
recommend it, but
This part
hey,
completely
we
improvised.
did it.
Completely improvised. I loved it. Yeah, sorry with the little yellow streak in my hair. I used to have really long hair. Put it in a ponytail. I had a streak going straight down.
Yeah.
I still haven't fixed it yet.
Walked out that front door, went home, fed my cats, and I watched Jay Leno.
Well, why'd you do it? Guy screw you out of money? Run off with your girl? Why?
I didn't even know the guy.
So we just did this in Ben's bedroom. Like we just set this up in Ben's bedroom real fast,
Making sense.
and boom.
It doesn't have to.
You are a sick son of a bitch. That's enough, Pike. We got everything we need.
But don't you two want to hear about the others?
The others?
Oh yeah. What about Miss Johnson on 24th Street, who's been so lonely since her husband died?
That's it. I've had enough. Pike, don't!
Whoa! Back it up!
Whoa, Rodney,
Now, in this
Rodney,
shot, I
take
pulled the
it
gun
easy.
out of his holster.
No, I am taking it easy.
Come on, take it easy, Rodney. It's okay.
I am taking it
Take
easy.
it easy.
Now, I kept setting the gun down. It was a bad thing,
Damn it.
but we managed to fix it. So
Detective, there's been 3 bodies found in Claremont Woods.
Oh yeah, how you held on to the gun?
I kept holding it, and I couldn't help it. It's like when you're acting, you're so focused on acting in your brain that like you do things subconsciously in the same shots that you're trying to fix. Like I kept holding on to the gun or putting the gun down,
Yeah.
and I should have just I should have fell with it.
You
is
should
what-
just threw that shit. Well, yeah, no. Oh, that's right. You didn't hold on to the gun. You would put it down.
I
That's
kept setting it
right.
down on the
Yeah,
table,
That's
yeah.
right.
Yep, for sure.
So yeah, that's you know, you do play the bad guy a lot, man, but you're good at it, you know.
But I
That's what
wear it
I'm-
well.
I'm trying to, you know, get. That's all.
I
I'm
think it's
talking
like
about.
I think it's like the deep ominous stare, like like It the Clown or something, like hiya Georgie, you know. That's how I always think of it in my brain. It's always like It the Clown.
So, you know, you've gotten to play these characters and all. Which one of all these different characters you've played would you say is your favorite?
Well, I'd say as of right now, I'd say that one right there is definitely probably my favorite one that we've done. Mm-hmm. Definitely being able to be this psychopathic killer, you know?
Yeah.
Just you know, being that like I've always wanted to do horror because most of our short films are like serious or they have hidden meanings or they have
like dramatic.
They have dramatic sentimental messages that aren't like it isn't anything just like scary.
Yeah.
You know. It's scary in a sense, but not like a scary genre.
Yeah.
So for us to do this, I begged for this for months. So how long were we into this when we filmed this? It was about a year, right?
This is us about a year.
So we're about a year in at this point, timeline wise.
And that's not you a year. That's just
that's Claremont
Films. Yeah, because you didn't even pop into what around 6 months, I'd say.
Yeah, or about
maybe a little 4 or 5.
4 or 5. Yeah, because you just filmed. So
Last Call.
So I'll tell that story real quick. Yeah. So the first time I'm sitting at home, I'm working a lot, just kind of helping out my family and such. And we're like going through the day. I'm literally consuming all my time into work. I don't really have any time for myself. So I go home, and everybody knows that feeling after you get home from work, or you just want to sit there and you just look at social media to kind of just give yourself a sense of you tapping back into the world.
Yeah.
Even though you've disappeared since you're working all the time. Mm-hmm. And I remember going on and I saw that video, the very first one you did. The one with you, Owen, Sky.
What was that? My Bad?
My Bad.
Yeah, My Bad. Yeah. So Owen and Sky were like fighting.
Yep. Shout out to Owen Wilson, Sky.
Once again.
But yeah, I definitely watched that video, and it's like I told myself like that's one of your best friends in that video. That's William Hafley.
Yeah.
Like you're close with him.
It's
like
weird seeing like people like when we do this. It's weird seeing like us bring out stuff, especially when we do good, because like obviously sometimes we look corny and whatever.
I mean, criticism is criticism.
Exactly, you know. But
we have fun doing everything
it's
we do.
about doing it.
And if anybody doesn't like it, like that's fine. We appreciate your views.
Thanks
anyway.
for watching. Yeah.
Like if you hate us, that's fine. I'd rather be a meme than be a nobody.
And that's what you gotta do, man. Because like even doing this, like, yeah, they're gonna be bumpy. The first few, yes, but
for sure. But
we're gonna get better.
I'd say we were kind of like, we kind of came up a lot. And I remember when I came involved with it to the whole thing, like I came to you and was like, "Hey, man, what's up?" Like, you know, like I want to be a part of this. Now, when somebody says like, "Hey, I want to be a part of this," everybody says that.
Yeah, there's
everybody
a lot of people
says that.
Yeah,
it's about. If
like
you're really there,
showing up and
that's why like you see a series of like 4 or 5 videos of me in it, because whenever he calls me, I'm there. That's just how you got to be if you want to be a part of something, especially something like this, because I would arguably say this is one of my dreams. For sure.
Yeah,
and I'm living out my dreams, man. It's just
I'm glad we can make them dreams come true, man.
Mm-hmm.
So now I want to get to one more. I have one more I want to get to, and then we're gonna talk about this movie.
This thing we got coming up.
We got this movie
that could be a movie. We're not sure yet. No, it's a movie.
It's a movie.
I wasn't gonna say it was a movie.
But before we get to that, though,
right?
What I want to talk about is my favorite video that we've ever done to this day.
Oh, yes. You skipped over that one.
I did, and I did it on purpose.
All right.
So, this is my favorite video we've ever done. You called us at the beginning of the podcast, the dynamic duo.
The dynamic duo.
And I feel like that really set in for this one specifically, and like how we're talking about, like, you know, you just got to do it and you just got to build and you just got to keep going. Sometimes
because we both
you have those moments.
Yeah, because we both know in our brains that we've talked to each other for hours and hours and been there for years, even when we were stupid kids.
Yeah.
And for us to kind of be where we're at now, and for us to be just this comfortable, it really shows. And when you're comfortable with somebody and you're filming, it definitely brings that new aspect to it. Like, acting with a stranger is pretty cool, but if you've known the dude your whole life, I can throw Will under the water in the bathtub and make him lose his breath because he's been my best friend for years. So that's the big dynamic of that.
Yeah, and that's, you know, but doing this one, we really like set a tone with what we can accomplish when we set our.
Yeah, you were doing a lot of
research. So,
yeah, a lot of research for it.
So I'm gonna play it and I'm gonna talk about it. So, but what I want to talk about is that I think you did some stuff too. Didn't you do some stuff to kind of method into
Yeah,
that?
for sure, dude. I did a little bit of method acting. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Good Time. Good Time with Robert Pattinson. Definitely watch that. Definitely an inspiration in my brain of like how we came about this. You hear me a lot in this video, so I apologize if that's annoying to some people.
Oh yeah. So what I did to learn about, I looked up a lot of videos about how deaf people interact with, you know, either their spouses or their family, people that either know sign language or people that don't know sign language, you know, like what kind of, you know, because people are very reactive and stuff. So I looked up a lot of stuff of like how deaf people like will listen, obviously like not listen, but how they would take in information when people are trying to talk. So, and I also like told Ricky to repeat himself a lot.
So we wrote down the lines.
Yeah, we did. This was all written. This was all scripted. This was like one of the first big scripts we did.
You know that I love you. I'm gonna take care of you.
Everything in between the lines is actually a lot of improv as well.
Yeah, yeah.
When we get in there, you can't fuck this up, okay? We cannot fuck this up, all right? After this is all over, okay? After all this is over, after we do this, we're gonna get the hell out of Dodge for a while, okay? Just me and you. No more clinics, no more visits to mom, no more sleeping on the streets.
No, not saying I like did the best representation of what a deaf person would be, but I'm just saying that I did try to do research on it to try to represent what I thought would be the best for our film that we were writing.
So pantyhose,
with this kind of character.
We only had pantyhose. I definitely didn't want pantyhose. So for everybody being like, you know, why the hell are they wearing pantyhose? It looks kind of corny. It's definitely like we kind of got to do with what we got. You know what I mean? So sometimes in some of these, we don't always have the props or the things we need, which is surprising because we have a giant closet
of a bunch of
like full of props.
Shit, yeah.
Full of props. So, Main Street on this road right here, cops kept driving down the street. It was like 10 o'clock at night, and we're fake breaking into our buddy's house.
Trying not to get caught.
Trying to not get caught fake breaking in, because I mean, what would that conversation be with the cops? Like, oh hey, yeah, my friend owns this house.
It's like, why you guys wearing pantyhose?
Why are you guys wearing pantyhose? Why is there a camera?
See, yeah, we have a camera. Why would we film ourselves breaking into it?
Yeah, breaking into like is that a fetish somewhere? Is that something that somebody's into?
Oh man, dude, and you did so. I think you did so good. Like the intro, man, it really like that's the way to set like a tone for a film. You know,
for
what I mean?
sure,
It's just,
dude.
Like, right off the bat.
And I'm so critical of myself that when people tell me like, "Oh yeah, dude, you did a great job," I take it. But in my brain, I mean, it's kind of all about like how I sit in my head, acting wise. But if I could say, if anybody could give me a good compliment and it means something, it would definitely be Caden Lucas.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa.
Owen Wilson once again.
Owen Wilson with the sexy robe.
Listen, okay? Okay? I can leave right now.
Hey, all you cool cats and kittens out there.
Oh my God,
this is
don't
Owen
do
Wilson on the Sexy Hour. He's got the eye covers on his head. All right, so after this shot happens,
Get your fucking hands up!
I really dropped to the ground and started legitimately crying. And all of this was like improvised.
The first time I watched this, when I edited it,
I still get cold chills.
I cried, dude. I legit like.
Yeah, you
shed
legit
tears.
cried.
I called you,
Yeah.
told you about it.
Yeah.
Because it was sad to me. Like I don't know, like.
God damn it! Talk to me. What is it Elliot say? Come on.
Still gives me cold chills to this day. I'm not gonna lie, and
Dude,
it's a legit shot. And if I gave it, I was really kind of going through shit. I found out some personal family news right before we filmed that really put me in the mindset like that is what I needed right now, is to hear, like, no, not like I wanted that to happen, but for my mom to call me and give me news like that right after, like right before we're about to film that scene, it gave it that raw emotion that that it needed. And so after we filmed that last shot where I start crying, and I legitimately started crying, guys, I was really crying in the video. I looked up at Caden right after we did the shot, and Caden had this distinctive look on his face, like, and I said, again? He's like, no, that was it. And I was just like, I've never seen him like that. And I felt like I was kind of like proving myself in my brain.
No, yeah, and like you said, your approval comes from like you like Caden's a lot because you have a lot of respect for him. You think that he has a good kind of mind for this stuff.
He's a creative genius, and I stand by that.
Absolutely, man. And
I've seen him. I've never met a human being more dedicated to anything in my life.
I wouldn't do anything with anybody like we do than with him. Like,
yeah,
there's nobody that can replace that guy. But
no, for sure.
That's what we're gonna get into, talking about this movie.
So, before we get into that, I think we should tell a slight little story.
Sure.
Quick. So, the in between, like, so this was kind of planned about 2 or 3 months ago. When we planned it, we were gonna film something else. I don't remember why it got scratched, but we kept one of the same actresses from the one we were gonna film.
Yeah,
and then we
have a
script.
we have a series.
We were gonna do a series.
In the bank, yeah.
And then we were like, no, we don't want to do that. And then we were gonna do a different video, and then we never did that. And then
a lot of things got canceled.
A lot of things got canceled due to COVID, and basically, you guys were just like, hey, we're gonna film this movie. And you're gonna be a part of it. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
That's where I was like, okay, cool.
It's gonna be it's gonna be between a short film and a full length. Like, it's gonna be pretty long.
It's gonna be kind of in between.
It might be a full feature length film. We'll get there when we get there, but we have a running title right now.
Okay.
It's called Moonlight Hour.
Moonlight Hour.
Or is it Moonlight Hours? Moonlight Hour. I think it's Moonlight Hour.
Moonlight Hour. And this is
Hours.
The Moonlight Hour.
I can't remember if there's an S or not. It's a running title. We're working on it.
I'm going to do it once because you got to do it. Hey, you talking to me? I'm talking to you. Sorry.
It's a fun catchphrase, man.
It was nice.
I've done it.
High five.
I've done it like 3-4 times now, and it's fun to say that. I forget it sometimes, so I feel like I mix it up. But
you know, I also just want to say the dynamic duo comes back, and it's because in my brain he's like having another girlfriend. He'll call me and just be like, "Hey man, how you doing today? Are you good?" And if I'm ever doing something that's like anything like messed up or like I'm saying something messed up or whatever, you're quick to correct me. And that's how it should be. Like music, like when we start talking about music notes and stuff.
Yeah.
They're talking about music things and music terms. I don't know a lot of it. And he'll be like, hey man, that's not correct. That's not right. And
Yeah.
I'm like, only somebody that you're close with can.
For sure. I'm really
sorry.
Now I really feel like I said the wrong movie name, but we're gonna forget about it.
We're gonna forget about it. It's fine. We'll scratch it in post.
It's fine.
Yeah.
But no. So I want to talk about this movie.
Sorry. I was just talking about our connection.
No, you're fine. You're fine. But I want to talk about this movie. So what you are is you are collectively. There's like 3 main characters, but but your story in it is the most important one because your character's making everything kind of happen throughout the story.
Yeah.
So and you are. I guess we never really make characters in a nice light. You know what I mean?
No, and that's like earlier you were like, which one's your favorite? And then I didn't want to talk about it before this. Yeah. But so far, because I've read everything and I've actually explained the story, and this is something that'll make you happy.
No,
I've re-explained the script to a number of people. Just to kind of like, not like the ending or anything like that, but I've talked about it enough to give people an idea. And most of the time, I don't even have to look at anything.
Yeah. So if I was to break it down like in a small portion for people to understand on the podcast they're listening. Yeah. And for you. So basically, you got these 2 guys.
For sure.
That robbed the store.
Okay.
And you have a situation where somebody gets hostage.
And
then these 3 go on this long night journey
and they all find themselves in a way.
Kind of. So but they go on this journey that one of the robbers kind of forces on them without knowledge of the other. So it makes it very tense and kind of mysterious journey through the night, but it's also like, you know, there's bonds already there and there's bonds that are made in the movie.
It's
I'm not trying to be too detailed. I'm trying to be very vague.
Very vague, yeah, for sure.
But that's kind of what, you know, I feel like if I was to write a description right now, that's what I feel like.
And not give anything away.
Yeah.
Cause I can be honest. Like we could sit here and probably talk over the whole premise of the movie. Yeah. Because I believe when we read the scripts in our minds, we create this image of what we think it's going to look like. Yeah. And it's something not a lot of people have. Yeah. A lot of people don't really think that deep into it. But when you've said, hey, we've made this whole film basically around you, and then you're like, wow, I really got to take that serious. Yeah. And you just change the way you live, you change your lifestyle, and then you basically just absorb it. Yeah. And so I've read the script so many times, it's ridiculous.
It's how long is it? Is it 40 pages?
The last time I checked, because I read it, took a break, and then read it again. That's what I do. I read like 20-something pages, and then I'll take a break. Yeah. I'll eat, do something else, take a shower. I'll come back refreshed, read the rest of it, and then kind of go over how it would look in my head. Yeah. And by the way, the actress we have for it, shout out to her. She's very cool.
Which I was going to talk about that. So we have like probably 8 people in the film.
8 people involved. We have to keep it minimum because of COVID and a bunch of stuff.
Just
scheduling and all that.
We're broke. We don't have any money.
Yeah, we can't pay anybody.
We don't have a budget, so it's hard to get 25 people in a room without throwing like a party or something.
You have to give something to benefit people, unless they really want to be a part of what you're trying to create.
We're not going to do that right now. We're keeping it real small and simple and short. And but Rachel Clow.
I haven't even met her yet. I've talked to her over video chat a few times when we're reading over everything.
Yeah, and she's just now kind of getting into it. She's been into like arts and entertainment stuff a lot. Yeah. But she's gonna be the third of me, you.
Yeah. The
dynamic.
We haven't had too many female actors, and
we've had a few, but not many.
We've had Sky. We've had the mother of my child. We've had
my mother.
Yeah, we've had his mom, Cammie, and then we've had my daughter.
Yeah.
So, arguably, the coolest thing about Claremont Films is that my child was the first Claremont Films child.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So, that video very controversial as well. Very.
Yeah. It's not a kind video.
It's not a kind video.
It's a real video, and that's based off.
Shout out to her grandmother who was a little upset when she watched it because it made her feel a little uneasy. Shout out to Gina.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that. But it's just because like she's like, that's my grandbaby, like that. Like I couldn't ever imagine that, and she loves that kid. So.
But like but that's the thing. That's why we kind of like we really wrote in the spot for Rachel to be this very important role, because it ended up being more about her journey through it all than it was about yours. Your character's kind of running the show.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. No, you're good. No, you're good.
Brother messaged me, so I was just hitting him back.
So I guess my question would be, is what kind of thing do you think watching all these, like obviously like I would compare like the level, like B&E being my favorite. That's like the closest to similar of what we're about to do, I feel like.
And the one biggest thing between this thing that we're filming is not only is it's going to give me more screen time, it's going to give me more of an opportunity to prove myself.
Yeah.
As an actor, I believe you should always continue pushing yourself as hard as you can. Christian Bale, Robert Pattinson, a few different actors lost a whole bunch of weight, changed their entire lifestyles for parts, and they weren't even really getting paid all that much to do it either. Like in the beginning, at least.
Yeah, not to do like stuff like that.
Yeah, like Good Time. I don't think Robert Pattinson got paid a whole lot for that movie.
Not too much. I think the budget was actually pretty.
It was
small.
pretty slim.
It's within like $2 million or something like that.
It was his like first film he did after Twilight.
No, he did a few. He did quite a few.
Yeah, it was like
before.
one of his first ones.
Well, Twilight's been a while since that's been over. But
can you imagine
it's one
people,
of the bigger films he's been in after Twilight?
Could you imagine people always associating you to like a series of movies that you hate? Like he still hates them.
That sucks.
And it's because people go, "Oh my God, you're Robert Pattinson for Twilight." He's like, "No, I've been in Good Time. I've been in The Lighthouse. I've been in a few different films." Like, man, But
yeah.
But I just believe in my head that this is probably like it's gonna make me shine the brightest in my mind.
Yeah, and like I said, dude, like this film, it's about like bonds, like what we're talking about with like the duo and stuff. It's
the
about
dynamic
bonds.
duo.
It's about revenge. It's about
just self-interest.
Self-interest. Yeah,
for
through
sure.
the whole movie.
For sure.
And that's a lot like what people really are like, and deep down, man, a lot like some people, like most people, have a lot of outer care for everything, but
yeah, for sure,
everybody deep down has self-interest,
for sure,
especially in the kind of circumstances that are in this movie.
Oh, for sure. And I am guaranteeing that if you feel like when it comes out, if you haven't got to like see it, I'd say definitely worth watching.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Because I mean, even if it sucks, make fun of it, please.
Yeah, no, seriously, just watch it.
Like, comment, be like, "Wow, why is that fat kid? Why is he kind of good at acting?"
Oh man, but man, it's gonna be a fun journey, and I'm glad that you're here to do it with me and shit.
Dude,
man.
no, for sure. I'm not going anywhere. That's the problem. You can't get rid of me. You fucked up. You let me in. Now I can't leave.
That's great, dude. I'm pumped.
We call each other like what, like maybe 6-7 times a week.
Yeah.
We talk almost every day.
Every day. And that's why I had you on the podcast.
Oh, dude, thank you.
Coming out I'm pretty sure this is the 3rd episode.
Whatever episode it is, it's an episode.
Thank you. I will thank you for coming out.
Yeah, no problem, dog.
It's fun having you out and talking about like our films and shit.
Oh, dude, for sure. Hopefully, I didn't ramble on too much.
No, you're good. I think we did good.
Yeah, I didn't think we did too bad.
But this has been Talking to Me, Talking to You.
Hey, talking to me, talking to you, sir.
And thanks for watching.